The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
Morning, critics, and welcome to the 13th episode of the Recreational Critics Podcast of the Project Entertainment Network, where we review streaming service films with our unqualified opinions. I'm your host, Jason, with my co-host,
James.
It's not Jimbo this week?
Not this week.
Last week it was Jimbo.
Last week was a Jimbo kind of week.
And today's just a James week.
It is.
Was it just a mediocre week for you?
Yeah.
No creativity?
What do you mean?
Jimbo was pretty creative.
I didn't want to confuse anybody, and I didn't want to pretend.
James is just white bread. You only pretended last week for like 2 minutes, and then we were back to James.
In my mind, I was Jimbo.
You were Jimbo the entire time.
I was.
Were you getting mad at me for calling you James?
No.
Oh, that's good. This week we're going to go over the movie Ballad of Buster Scruggs and 5 others. A movie you never heard of, and probably for good reason. Not you never heard of, and for good reason. It got Oscar noms.
Yes.
But it was so weird.
It was. The format was creative, and I
Right.
can respect that.
It's unique.
Yes.
It's a Coen Brothers movie, so it's unique, and it's going to subvert expectations. But I guess
Right.
we'll talk about that later. Before, we're going to go into news, our weekly recap news, and then straight into the movie. And then if you want to skip, there'll be time stamps down in the description below. You ready to get into weekly recap?
Let's party.
What'd you do this week?
Still working a little bit, like
Good.
half on, half off.
I saw you at work.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did that, made some money.
I gave you that badge I was supposed to give you last week.
Yes. But other than that, I did a little yard project last week.
What'd you do?
I regraded. Remember I was talking about how I was going to.
Yeah.
And I did it.
How was it?
It was awful.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, I've got like a 4-foot tall pile of dirt in my backyard now.
I was working on a mower today.
You were?
So Naomi's father found me a riding mower for $50.
Wow.
And I don't know if we talked about this before, but usually he finds stuff people sell and they're like, it's a piece of shit, it don't work. You just need to take the carburetor out, clean it, put it back in, and it's a $2,000 mower.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing. I was doing a little bit of that today, right before I came back home to do this.
Very nice.
And as soon as we're done with this and I'm done editing, I am going straight back.
Excellent.
It's gonna be a long night.
Hopefully not.
No, I'll be up all night. I screwed up my sleep schedule. I woke up at 2 today.
Ugh.
But I went for a run.
Did you?
I've been going for a run every day for the last few days.
You're back in it?
I'm back in it. I weighed myself for the first time in like almost a year, and I've gained 19 pounds since last
up.
June. Nope, bad 19 pounds. And I was like, that's not good.
Well, I'm down like 16 pounds, so.
Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Nah, man, good for you.
Thank you.
I got an invitation to a baby shower.
Me too.
You also got the invitation. We're going to the same baby shower.
We are.
We're going golfing.
It's a golfing baby shower.
For dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe women. I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah. We have some fun golf times. We've golfed a couple times before.
We have.
Yeah.
You've got one of the most legendary golf shots
Ooh.
I've ever seen.
I want to hear it again.
All right. So there we were. So there's 3 of us.
Yep.
And you. And the 3 of us had quite a bit of golfing experience.
Yes.
I've golfed pretty consistently since high school. Took a break for a while.
And those other 2 also did.
Yeah.
They golfed because that's all they have.
Yes.
That's the only hobby is golfing.
One person is probably going to be attempting to join the senior tour.
Yep.
After they retire.
He's already a senior, but yes.
And then the other person golfs quite a lot.
Yep.
So we worked all night.
Yep.
Decided we were going to go play golf.
We did.
And
Got
you
some
were
beers.
there. How many times have you played golf?
Probably like 3 times prior to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got to a hole, and I want to say it was like 110 yards.
Probably. It was a
120
par
yards?
3.
Yes.
It was hole 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't-
hole 17. It was at the very end.
You're right.
Yeah. It was at the very, very end.
So each of us, I think, hit a pitching wedge.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
And then Jason walks up with a 5-wood.
3 wood.
3-wood.
Yep.
All right. And tees it up about 5 inches.
Yep. Because I asked, and I looked at you.
You did.
I looked at all 3 of you guys. I'm like, am I doing this right? And you
None
guys,
of us made a gesture whatsoever.
No, you guys gave me a thumbs up. You guys said, yeah, looking good, buddy.
I don't think that happened.
That is 100% what happened.
That's not my style of sabotage.
I need a lifeline. I need to call up
So
JT
the
or
3 of
Charlie.
us watched you tee up,
Yep.
and we were all thinking this is going to go one of 2 ways. He's either going to crush it into the houses
Yep.
that are past the hole, or he's just going to hit the tee and the ball's going to fall straight down.
Yeah.
What instead happened is you caught the very bottom of the ball.
Yep.
And you hit this thing 400 feet in the air. and somehow almost aced the hole.
Yeah,
You almost got your first hole in one on your third round of golf.
Yeah, it landed within like 2 feet, maybe 3 feet of the hole.
And it was tracking towards the hole.
Yep, it landed right in front of it and just stopped.
Yes.
It didn't roll or anything. It just stopped.
Right.
Where is that? It was amazing.
Unbelievable.
And you guys were both like, all three of you were like, what the
I was
hell?
laughing so hard I thought I was going to throw up.
I like hearing this story a lot.
It was unreal.
And I tried to replicate it on the next hole, and it didn't work out that way. But
fortunately, because I don't like you winning anything.
right,
One of the other guys got closer on 18.
yes, he got closer. Our buddy JT got closer by like a foot.
Yeah, he was 3 or 4 inches from the hole.
Yeah, I was like, you bastard.
Yep.
Couldn't let me have it. Why don't you like me winning anything?
It's just, I'm petty.
It's a competition thing.
I'm so petty, it's unbelievable.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
We're buddies.
I would rather cause myself to lose just to make sure you lose as well.
So, funny enough, I've been playing this Battle Royale game on my PC called Warzone.
Okay.
I'm sure people here have heard about it. And if I'm going down, and I know I'm going down, there's like a full team around the corner, and they're going to kill me. If I down one of their buddies, I'll make sure, instead of focusing on his buddies to save myself, that I just, because he goes down, you can revive him and bring him back. But if you finish him, like execute him, it's over. He's out the game.
Fatality.
Yeah. I make sure I gave him that fatality before I die.
Classy.
If I'm going out, he's going out as well.
Twitch always tells me that you're playing this game.
You never get on and watch.
But what do I do?
You subscribe.
I do.
And I get $2.50 out of that.
Every single time.
Every month.
This is the 3rd month in a row.
Thank you. You know what, though? It's going into this stuff. I paid for this.
Hey.
So it's working out.
I do what I can.
You're helping out.
There's so many people that we know that have Amazon accounts that don't use their Twitch subscription.
Yeah.
You should start guilting them into it.
I guilt everyone.
Do you?
My own girlfriend won't even subscribe to me.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she subscribed to a friend of ours.
Ah, dirty.
It's foul. It's awesome. It's awful. You got anything else for a weekly recap?
Not really.
Because I am good to get right into the news.
Let's party.
All right. So, you ever heard of Hamilton?
Yes.
Yeah, the play.
Yeah, it was actually going to come to the city we live in.
It was. It's not going to now.
No.
So, Disney was making a movie of it, and it is going to video on demand.
With the original cast.
Was it with the original cast? I didn't know that. That's a little bit of tidbit I didn't do any
I'm pretty
research
excited
on.
about it.
Yeah, well,
I would still rather go see it in person.
Right.
I'm not like a theater guy, but I want to see what all the hype's about.
right. But it's coming to video on demand, so you can pay $20 to watch it at
I
home.
thought it was coming to regular Disney Plus.
Maybe it was, but I think they're renting it on there. Like, you have to pay for it.
I
still.
don't think so.
I think you do.
Disney would never.
You don't think Disney would do that? They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It's like, I can have more billions.
Yeah.
They probably saw what Universal did with that Trolls movie, and went.
I bet it just comes out for release.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know that for a fact, but I bet it just is on the regular streaming.
It might. I mean, we'll find out though. We won't find out until it comes out.
I think Disney is probably making an unbelievable amount from Disney Plus.
Oh, for like the ad revenue and for each view it gets, how much money they get out of that.
Just
or
the
whatever.
subscription.
Well, yeah, I paid for a year out. Did you?
No, I pay the $8 a month.
Okay, I paid for a year because then you save 2 months.
Yeah.
So you save some moolah. But I did that. I'll watch Hamilton. I like it enough.
Maybe we'll review that.
We could. It'll be streaming service
It
technically at that point.
It'll be our first Disney Plus.
Yes, it will. I'm always down for a Disney Plus thing.
Yeah.
With the Star Wars count, could we go watch Star Wars and review
God
that?
damn it.
They gotta have
No.
a Star Wars property that's streaming service only.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
The newest season, but we don't normally do.
No, we don't normally do TV shows. It's just too much time.
Yeah.
I don't got it.
I usually have to cram the movie in right before I come here.
You do.
Last week I was 30 minutes late.
You text me sometimes around 6 p.m. and you're like, "Hey man, starting the movie. Be there over at 9."
Yep.
Like, all right, buddy. See you soon. So it's fresh in your head when you get here.
That's the part that I like.
Yeah. For
I
me,
have plenty of time to watch the movie.
I actually get everything ready 30 minutes before you get here,
Mhm.
and then I sit here and just think about it for a while so I can try and recall what the hell the movie was about.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that guy who's like, "Oh yeah, I did watch this movie," or
I come over with it fresh.
that's what I appreciate it. Fresh Subway, eat fresh. I got some Mandalorian news. A lot happened this week in Mandalorian, the TV show. So Bo-Katan is a Mandalorian from the TV show Rebels. They cast her voice actor to be the character in the show in season 2.
Nice.
So more Mandalorians are definitely coming in. Tamora Morrison got cast, we talked about last week, as Boba Fett.
Yep.
However, there's also rumors that he probably is cast as somebody else, and they're thinking one of the clones.
Okay.
So some leftover clones that may still be alive. And then Rosario Dawson got cast as Ahsoka Tano.
That happened months ago.
No, like officially got cast.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, we've already talked about this.
Have we?
Yeah.
I thought this was new.
No.
I have to look it up now. I just saw a thing on it this week.
It's been at least a month.
Oh. Well, then never mind.
Timothy Oliphant got cast this week.
As who?
A name that I didn't recognize.
Okay. Mandalorian?
Yes.
Mandalorian. Timothy Oliphant. I found it. That's always a weird last name to me. They don't say who he's for. I'm trying. Oh, nope, that's not it. That was the author of this article. Oh man, I hate how sometimes.
Either way, he's gonna be on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out who they got him to play as.
You think it's gonna be as good on the second season?
I hope so.
I think that they're leveraging the cast well enough
Mm-hmm.
to where it's going to be.
Yeah. So one of the things I think is they're gonna learn from this or be able to improve on the show is the budgeting and stuff, because they definitely had a lower budget
Right.
for the first season, and maybe a higher budget will help them. But I think part of the thing that the lower budget helped with is that it got to feel more like the prequels. Not
They had
prequels,
to focus more on the story
originals.
writing as well.
Yes. I don't know.
I just don't want them to Walking Dead it or something.
I don't think they could Walking Dead it.
Hey,
It doesn't
these
say who
people
he's
make
playing
Star
as.
Wars, okay?
Yeah. That's true. What's that supposed to mean?
You know what it's supposed to mean.
He's great. Star Wars is great.
The idea of Star Wars is great.
I like Star Wars.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the Rosario Dawson thing as Ahsoka, was fan art months ago, but I'm pretty sure she officially got cast this week or last week.
No.
Well, then I'm just an idiot. Yeah, you know what that a month ago, she wanted to play Ahsoka Tano. And that, she admitted it in April that she is Ahsoka Tano. Well, then never mind, man. I end the podcast.
Just say
I don't know
sorry and we'll move on.
I don't know. Sorry. Let me look you in the eye and say it. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It means so much.
USA Network purges some of their shows. So they're canceling a bunch of their TV shows. One of them is The Purge.
Okay.
I didn't know The Purge even had a TV show.
I knew of it.
Yeah, so how many other movies do you think are going to get TV shows?
I don't know.
Taken got one, Lethal Weapon got one, and Purge.
All of them.
Yeah. You think they're all going to start doing it? I'll be like, yeah, this TV show thing works until nobody watches our shit anymore.
Yeah.
They also canceled another one two other ones, Treadstone and Dare Me. But
Treadstone was a Born Identity one.
Yep.
And
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
Dare Me.
I don't know that one.
I never heard of it before I read the article on it this week. But yeah, the Bourne Legacy,
Yep.
or Jason Bourne saga, I guess is what you would call it. I was going to call it trilogy, but then they added
That one
a
doesn't
spin-off
exist.
movie, and then they added...
With Jeremy Renner.
Right. And then
that one was bad.
And then they added a fourth one with Matt Damon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What are they?
I think there's 5 total.
Yeah, there's Jason Bourne Supremacy, Ultimatum,
Identity.
that's it. I can't remember the newest one.
I remember seeing an interview with Matt Damon, and they had just finished the 3rd one.
Yeah.
I think it was with Jay Leno, and he asked him if he was going to make another one.
Yep.
And he said we'd have to call it the Bourne Redundancy. And then a couple of years later, they ended up making it anyways.
Yeah. That's right. So they had Identity, Supremacy, Ultimatum, Legacy. That's one of Jeremy Renner. And then Jason Bourne is all they call the newest one.
So edgy.
They went Rocky on it.
Yeah.
Instead of the Rocky movies, they went Balboa. Should just called it Bourne at that point.
Yep.
I hate the Bourne Legacy. I like Jeremy Renner, but I hated that movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was so bad. The drone in the mountains.
That's the one everybody always thinks of.
It just drops like Yeah, I'm gonna get like my care package from this UAV in the freezing cold.
Yeah, that's flying at 400 feet,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't need to.
It did J-turns on a mountain and shit like that.
Yep.
It was incredible. I love when shows get like that most basic stuff wrong.
It's got to be intentional.
Do you think it is?
Yeah.
I also think some people are just stupid.
I mean,
I've heard people talk before, and
I too have discussed things.
yeah, or they read stuff on the internet and they're like, "Oh, dude, that's fact."
Oh, there's probably people out there that think that about us.
Yeah,
Because we talk about plenty of things that we don't.
we have no knowledge on.
Yeah.
5G internet is causing the coronavirus.
It's definitely causing. I got nothing. I was gonna try to think of something stupid.
It's been around for years,
Yeah.
but then they start putting up cell towers and people start freaking out. It's been in your house for like 5, so I don't know what you want.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Whenever they started doing dual band shit, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, maybe even longer.
I don't know.
I'm not an expert. The Coen brothers are doing a Scarface reboot. Universal's
Of all the movies that needed a reboot,
it
that
didn't.
fucking turd.
Yeah. Once again, Jason's famous segment of stop making sequels and reboots to movies that don't
The
need it.
first one wasn't even good.
No. It's a cult classic, though.
Yeah.
You know, it has a cult following for no
I like plenty of bad movies.
Yeah. It had the one-liners and the zingers that people quote all the time.
Yes.
And it's the same thing I feel with like comedy movies that people love and they praise all the time.
Mhm.
I hate Napoleon Dynamite. I hate it. But people quote
How many
it
times have you watched it?
3.
Okay.
Because everyone,
The first time I watched it, I didn't laugh. I didn't smile.
I didn't laugh once.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then the second and third time I watched it,
hmm
it was just a gut buster. It was so funny.
It's just, I don't laugh at it. And then people are like, no, man, you just got to give it another shot. Or like, they go hang out with buddies and they're like, let's watch Napoleon Dynamite. And you're just along
That's
for
a
the
real
ride.
crowd pleaser.
Yeah. No, man, I don't want to watch that shit. One-liners, zinger movies like that.
Yeah.
You know, people quote it all the time. They go to work, they quote it. They go home, they quote it.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate those movies. I didn't like Scarface either. But it's iconic, and so it'll make money, and that's what they're going to do.
Who are they going to cast?
I don't know. I don't think they cast anyone. They hired a director already, though. His name's Luca. I'm going to butcher this.
Maybe they should make
Gouda,
talking about Napoleon Dynamite.
Guadagnino. He's
John
Italian.
Heater.
What's that?
John Heater from Napoleon Dynamite. He could be Scarface.
Is he the guy that plays Napoleon Dynamite?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. If they're going to do
I
it,
kind of do.
at least get an Italian. Or, because it's Coen brothers, they're going to definitely subvert the expectation and put in, like, a white guy. Just
Josh Brolin.
right. Ooh. I wouldn't mind that. I think he could do it.
Probably.
He's gritty enough.
He's in all the other Coen movies anyway.
Yeah, he's gritty enough. He could make that work. But I don't know. I'm not really that excited for it, but I'll probably watch it.
They should just bring back Al Pacino again.
Ugh, he's too fucking old for that.
Just CGI it.
They could. They could Terminator
Just Marvel it.
Genesis. Yeah, Marvel, Star Wars, Terminator when they did Young Arnold. They did that for multiple Terminator movies.
Yep.
Because they really hung on to that. Arnold is the only thing.
Marvel did it best, though.
Who did they do it for?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yep. His dad.
Yes.
Howard. What's the actor's name? Oh, this is gonna hurt my head.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas did it for him. Who plays Howard Stark? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
It's gonna hurt. It's hurting my head. Howard Stark. It doesn't even say. Move on. I don't even care anymore. Because they had 2 actors that they had the young one.
Yes.
And then Dominic Cooper was the young one, and John Slattery, that's who it was. Yeah. So. Yeah, they can do it.
They definitely should not do it though.
Right.
Because the movie that just came out with Robert De Niro, the really long one.
Uh-huh. Oh, Irishman.
Yes, that was not good.
So I still haven't seen it because I don't want to sit down and watch a 3-hour movie.
So you should watch it.
Okay.
It was brilliant the way they did the de-aging, but it
Yep.
was still Robert De Niro walking around, and he was shambling like a 75-year-old man that he is.
Yeah.
I talked about it before, but there's a part where he kicks the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
And it looks like a 75-year-old man kicking someone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We could do an episode or like a small segment one week about really bad CGI actors because they've done it before.
Oh, yeah.
So Have you heard about Christopher Lee and Star Wars? We'll talk about it another time, but yeah, they did Christopher Lee in one of the Star Wars movies.
Floating head.
The floating head.
Yep.
Yeah. If you watch and look for it, it's there. It's bad.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's something we can do another time. They're doing a Mad Max spinoff, Furiosa, based on the character that was played by Charlize Theron.
Okay.
But Charlize Theron won't be in it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to watch it now. Took my lady out. I ain't coming to your movie. I'll probably see. I like the Mad Max movies.
I liked
the new one.
I liked the old ones, and I liked the way they shot the new one.
Yeah. Well, the new one was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, stunning. Stunning shots. Matrix 4 will start shooting in July. So there's a movie I don't give a fuck about because
I just don't understand why.
Yeah. Why are they keep making more sequels to movies that should just be dead?
They shouldn't have made the 2 sequels that they did.
They shouldn't have made the third one.
The second one was the dumpster fire, man.
Right. And that's why you shouldn't make a third one.
Well,
you failed so bad.
Just stop a little earlier and make one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
And walk away.
No one's ever
think of a new idea.
No one's ever going to do that.
I wish they would.
Yeah. Sometimes though you get masterpieces out of sequels, and other times you shit on your legacy. So the Mission Impossible movies shit on their legacy doing the second and third one, and then second one, and then brought it back with the third one, and I think they've done even better.
Oh yeah.
As they've gone along.
Yeah.
But had they gave up after the second one, we would not have any more Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise would still be making good movies.
True. Oh, Keanu Reeves makes good movies.
Most of the time.
John Wick.
Okay. You can name good Keanu Reeves movies, but that doesn't negate the fact that he makes plenty of turds.
Yeah, that's fair. He will be in that Cyberpunk game.
Yeah.
That they released in the last week. You will have customizable genitals.
Yeah. I saw a GIF of it or something like that.
All the memes coming out of it have been kind of funny.
It's weird.
I was like, why would you focus on that for a game? It's that
funny.
Ray tracing. You need to make sure that those 2080s are doing their job.
Hey man, it's funny.
If you want, I want to go very quick into the New Mutants timeline.
Go for it.
We talked about New Mutants
this
before.
This is going to be the Jason segment.
It is. So, we talked about New Mutants before. It's a Fox X-Men movie, and it was supposed to be like a spin-off series, right? Well, the director pitches the idea to Fox in 2014. 2015, Fox approved the movie, and then 2016, they get their first release date. That would be April of 2018. That was their initial first release date. In 2017, they start filming, and by 2018, the reshoots begin because of the It movie came out. And the It movie did so good, they were like, fuck it, let's make a horror movie out of the X-Men thing. And so they were like, all right, let's reshoot it. And then after they finished reshooting, Deadpool 2 got a release date, and they're like, well, let's push it back to 2019 to allow Deadpool 2 to make money, because Fox owns Deadpool.
Yes.
And they don't want to sacrifice all their money. So there was an interview with Macy Williams. You know her as Arya Stark. She's in this movie.
Okay.
So she said that reshoots was a good idea, and it's a much better film because of it. Fast forward to late 2018, early 2019, way more reshoots that then stop abruptly because of the Disney merger with Fox and actors being tied up in other properties. So Maisie Williams got tied up in other stuff. Jonathan Byers from Stranger Things.
Yes.
He gets tied up in Stranger Things, and so they have to stop filming altogether. They eventually bring it back, and then the first trailer comes out. And no, I'm sorry, the first trailer, rewind. First trailer came out in 2017.
Okay.
Fast forward again, 2020. It gets its second trailer for the first time in a while. Then there was rumors it wasn't going to be released due to the Dark Phoenix flop, which got a 23% rating. It was a really bad movie.
It was real bad.
Yeah. Disney then puts it on video on demand for rental. So their plan of what the Trolls movie did was just make rental revenue off streaming service. And then after the post-AMC Universal debacle, where AMC was like, if you're going to do that, we're not going to show your movies anymore in our theaters, or that movie anymore in our theater. Disney backed out of that and is now going back to a theatrical release. So, and that's August now, August 2020. So this movie has been in development for 6 years, and it's going to be a turd.
They should have just walked away.
Yeah. Yeah. They wrote comic books just so they could make this movie. So, yeah. What are you looking up over there?
Oh, I was looking up other Coen Brothers movies.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was being prepared, all right?
I appreciate it, man. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened for the New Mutants, and it's all trash.
Yes.
So that movie's going to be trash, and I will probably watch it just to see a dumpster fire. Because every now and then I want to do that. But
You're just being an enabler.
Yeah. I'm not going to go to theaters and watch it. I'm going to wait for it to go to Disney Plus.
Okay.
I'm already watching.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Here's a little ad space for another podcast on the Project Entertainment Network. So, Dr. Galvanic's Odd Tales basically just narrated fictional short stories to include drama, mystery, some horror, and some sci-fi. I found it to be very fitting for what we're talking about for the movie we're going through today.
I did as well.
So, right here is an ad for that. I hope you guys appreciate it.
Hello, podcast addicts and curious listeners. Dr. Galvanic's Odd Tales is a narrated podcast with dark, thrilling, and mysterious stories. In each episode, Dr. Galvanic's Odd Tales will take you through the mysteries of the Australian outback, lead you into a remote corner of the galaxy, or it will accompany you through a mind-bending nightmare. You can find Dr. Galvanic's Odd Tales on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Subscribe to the show so you won't miss another episode. See you out there.
And you want to get started into Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
Let's do it.
All right. Why is it called Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
Because of one character in the first short story.
Right. So this movie is a compilation of 6 different short stories.
Yeah, 6 vignettes is what they describe it as.
Yeah. And they don't tie into each other at all.
Nope.
They have one common theme. We can talk about that later. But they don't tie into each other. The characters don't ever run into each other. They don't meet. And there's a guy reading a book.
Yes.
Of each short story, and then they go into the movie of that short story.
Yep.
It was so hard to follow just because of that, because you couldn't get invested in the characters, because then 20 minutes later you're on a new story with totally new characters,
right?
That don't mean anything at the end. How much did they spend on this?
I didn't look it up.
Oh, I thought you were coming in prepared.
Well, I was looking at other Coen Brothers movies. So I struck out several weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just stopped doing it.
But you got back on track last week.
You're right.
I thought you were going to stay on track, man.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So, that's basically just a plot of this. So
30 mil.
30 mil. That's not bad.
It looks like a $30 million movie.
Yeah, but it's a Western.
Yeah.
And so Westerns can be cheaper.
You're right.
And still look good.
I think your point that you make most weeks is this is probably all salary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most times I think most of it is because there's so many actors in this.
Yeah.
James Franco, Tim Blake-Nelson, Tom Waits,
Liam Neeson,
Harry Myling, Clancy Brown, trying to think of Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, lots of people.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool the kind of people they got in this.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's like $5 million per short.
Yes. Here is basically what it is. So the first short is the tale Buster Scruggs.
Right.
Who's a smart-mouthed gunslinger.
Yeah.
Who breaks
Singing cowboy.
Singing cowboy who breaks the fourth wall.
Yep.
I thought that was going to be the movie. Like what the movie was going to be. Like a Deadpool, Western.
Yep.
It wasn't. Because what happens? He dies.
Very quickly.
Yeah. And this movie is over the top.
Yes.
The Buster Scruggs stuff is over the top. The rest of it's kind of grounded, but for the most part, his stories.
Yeah, it starts off very silly.
Silly. He's singing. He's talking to the camera, and he's just killing anyone that gets in his way. Because he's a gunslinger. He's really
kind of. Like, yeah. Sometimes he's just making other people kill themselves.
Yeah, which is he didn't have his gun at one point.
Yeah.
And a guy pulls a gun at him, and all he does is kick the floorboard of the table until it makes him shoot himself.
Yes.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah, being 5 minutes into the movie and seeing that.
Yeah. And then he dies.
Yep.
10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and you're like, what the fuck? Guy goes back, he flips the page, story 2.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, well, what's in tale for Buster Scruggs now? It's not. It's about a bank robber who gets caught robbing a bank. And it's played by James Franco, who then at the very end is hanged.
Mm-hmm.
He's hung. He escapes his hanging because Indians come and interrupt it, and then they just leave him alone for some reason.
Yep.
And then he gets hung again because he gets caught committing another crime that he wasn't actually committing.
Yes.
So that's end of his story. Story 3, is that the Prospector? Or is that
I think that's the Liam Neeson
the
one.
Liam Neeson one? He's a guy in like a traveling carriage that shows for money.
It's like a traveling carnival kind of thing.
Right, and he has an armless, legless guy who tells the story, I guess.
Yes.
And he gets paid. Well, he makes a lot at first, and then at the very end of it all, like 30 shows later, he starts making no money because no one cares anymore.
Yep.
So he throws him into a river
And buys a chicken.
Buys a chicken that can count.
Yep.
And that's it. On to the next story about a prospector looking for gold.
Yes.
And you watch him prospecting by himself, which is kind of neat. I never knew how prospecting actually worked into that moment. And I was like, okay, that's neat. And then he gets shot in the back by some guy who basically just watched him from the distance do all the work.
Yep.
And then he kills that guy.
Yeah, so he got shot in the back, pretended to be dead.
Yep.
And then once the guy jumped down in there, he
fought him.
did some hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. And he's an old guy.
Yep. But he's also a prospector.
True. So he's strong. I mean, he's works with his hands all day and stuff.
Yep.
I knew he was still alive only because the guy that killed him, they focused on him for way too long after he shot him, and him like putting the gun to him and like putting it down slowly and then slowly getting in the hole.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, that guy's definitely still alive.
That was probably my favorite short.
Because it was neat.
I enjoyed it the most.
It was unique. It was different. It was neat the entire way, too, because he goes to get some eggs from a bird's nest and from an owl nest.
Yep.
And the owl is looking at him from across the tree, and he's like, sorry. And he puts the eggs back.
Yep.
And he keeps one for himself. He's like, you can have the other 3 now. He's a nice old man who's funny.
Yep.
And he's just talking to himself and just being a prospector. And then he gets away. That's probably the only one that doesn't fit the theme of all the rest. And the reason being because the fifth one, I'm sorry, I'm losing my track now. 5th one's about a girl on the Oregon Trail.
Yes.
Who's going to meet.
I think we skipped one.
No, we got the bank. Buster, bank robber, Liam Neeson, prospector.
Okay.
So now we're on the 5th one.
You're right.
And she's on the Oregon Trail, going to meet her soon-to-be husband.
That her brother matched
her up with, right? And then her brother dies of cholera on the trail.
Yes.
Where she then meets the guy heading the trail, and they fall in love and get proposed.
Fall in love might be an overstatement.
It's 1800s. I don't know what love really was then,
Yes.
Because everyone then like fell in love overnight.
Yeah, she gets hornswaggled by her carriage caretaker.
Yeah.
And she's in debt to him a lot of money.
Right.
And so the trail leader
proposes
decides
to her.
He's going to propose and basically pay her guy as a dowry kind of thing.
Right. And she accepts, and she goes off the trail to like play with her dog at one point, and then Indians show up.
Because she's pretty naive.
Right. She's nervous. She's shy. She's just a quiet gal.
Yes.
And the Indians show up. But at that point, one of the the trail leaders, if you will, he's there. And he kind of walks her through what's going to happen, and how we're going to get out of this.
Yes.
It's like if at any point you feel like it's over, or I tell you it's over, I take that, I shoot you, and then I shoot myself. If I can't do it, you shoot yourself. And she's like, what? And he's like,
it's going to go real bad if you don't kill yourself.
Yeah, he describes it in gross detail.
Yes.
Like, they're going to have their way with you, take off
and
your
then
clothes.
she's convinced.
Yeah, she's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with this.
I was convinced. I was like, I have my gun in my closet. I'll go get that right now.
Yeah.
And so he kills off most of the Indians.
Yeah.
And they run away. One gets him in the head, like hits him with a stick.
Yes.
But he ends up killing him still. And like immediately, like he's still good to go. He kills the Indian and he walks over to the girl who already shot herself.
Yes.
So
once she saw him go down,
yeah,
she just went ahead and committed.
Yep. You don't see that, it's all off screen.
Yep.
You just see his finding of her body and then having to go tell her new fiance, who was very excited to marry her.
Yes.
Like, hey man, she's dead.
This thing happened.
Yeah. All because of that fucking
Damn dog.
that damn dog that she was supposed to get rid of.
Yes.
If he would have killed the dog, it would have been fine.
Yep.
And that's it for that short story. And then the 6th one is 5 people on what are they called?
Stagecoach.
Stagecoach. Thank you. I was supposed to say station wagon, but stagecoach, and they all three on one end are all vastly different from each other. So you have the lady, the trapper, and the Frenchman.
Yes.
And one guy's all about love being like this open thing. One is about, very religious sinners and non-sinners. And the other guy just kills animals.
Yes.
And then on the other side are
what he kept saying, everybody, or what did he keep saying?
Everyone's like ferrets.
Everybody's like ferrets. No elaboration.
Right.
Just everyone's a ferret.
And there's 2 other guys on the other side. One's Mad Eye Moody,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one's like a singing guy. I don't remember his name, but they're bounty hunters. And the entire time, the outside of the stagecoach is getting darker and darker and darker. And I knew from the beginning, this is purgatory, and they're on their way to hell or heaven or wherever the hell it is.
Yep.
And those 2 bounty hunters like talking to them about life and what it means to live and stuff like that, and what it means to be done and like accept who you were and whatever. And then they get off the stagecoach and they go into a hotel, and the door shuts behind them.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, they died. Like, that's what it was. And then the movie ends. Why was it called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
There was a guy named Buster Scruggs there.
At the very beginning. And maybe that's what keeps you drawn into the movie, is I want to wait for Buster to come back.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I was telling you earlier before we started the podcast,
Yep.
I think this is one of those movies, like most Coen brothers movies,
Yeah.
that I'm going to need to watch multiple times.
Mm-hmm. They're unique. They're different. They make you think a little bit more.
Yep.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of allegory and
they completely take the genre and turn it on its head.
yes.
And there's a lot of allegories in this.
Yep.
So what was the theme?
I think all of the
Because most anthology, is that the word I'm looking for? Anthology genre films are all like, they're all short stories that are tied together by a common theme or character of some sort. And this one, it had a theme.
for me it was life.
Yeah, life and death.
Yes.
That was it for me too. Because with exception to the Prospector one, which I guess would be life, every main character dies at the end of their story. So that's what it was to me. Like, they all had their life, and then they die. And then as soon as they die, you move on to the next story. And then the end of it is about death.
Yep.
The end of it is all death. That's all the end of it was. People riding their way to their death.
I think it was, for me, it was more about you can't keep life from happening.
Okay.
Like, life doesn't stop because it's inconvenient. Like,
Right.
you can't put the brakes on. Like the carriage driver or the stagecoach driver in the very end.
Yep. He doesn't hear you.
He doesn't stop for anybody.
Yep.
He doesn't stop for any reason.
Yeah.
And I think that all the episodes were kind of that way.
Okay. Yeah. Because even the Prospector, like, life didn't stop.
Nope.
He got shot in the back. He got his gold, and he just moved on to the next.
Yep. For him, the journey of like finding the gold was more important than actually finding the gold.
Right. I like this movie. Like,
I did too.
But it was so unfulfilling.
While I was watching it, I didn't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I kind of thought about it, and on the drive over here, I think it's one I'll probably watch again.
Okay. It's so long. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that.
Right, of 6 short stories.
Yeah.
I like if there was like a full. I don't know. I couldn't get invested into the characters. It was so hard to because it wasn't like a full story about them. But I like the fact that you get to see their end.
Mm-hmm.
The end of each character, then on to the next one. I just wish they were tied in some way to each other.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when these movies take place, or like if these stories are all happening together, or they're all happening completely separate of each other.
Yeah, there is no character development.
There's none. You dive right into what the character's doing and who they are.
Yep.
Yeah. I like this movie.
Do you like Coen Brothers
I do.
movies?
What were the movies you were looking up?
There's a lot of them. There's Fargo. There is hold on, let me get back to it. No Country for Old Men, which is one of my favorite movies. Big Lebowski.
Yep. I love Big Lebowski. I think we talked about this before.
There's a couple of their early movies which I haven't ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So there is ads.
Goddamn ads.
I know.
Terrible.
Blood Simple and Barton Fink.
Okay.
And then Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which also has Timothy Blake Nelson in it, the guy that plays Buster Scruggs.
Yep.
He's in that movie also.
Raising Arizona.
Yep. Hail Caesar.
Inside Llewyn Davis.
Uh-huh.
Which another podcast that I like. I was talking about that recently.
Okay. True Grit. They did the 2010 True Grit
Miller's
movie.
Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
A Serious Man. I don't know that one.
Okay, I don't think I've heard that one before. You haven't seen Raising Arizona?
I've seen it, but not in a long time.
That's a Coen Brothers movie.
Yep.
Yep.
I said it.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I like Coen Brother movies. They're different.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into them.
Mm-hmm. A lot of art. They're definitely artsy kind of directors, which is why I wasn't surprised to see this one got Oscar noms.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird to me. So this one isn't a streaming service movie, technically.
Yeah.
So it's a Netflix original, but they release it in theaters for 7 days because they have to be eligible for an Oscar.
Interesting.
So it's one of those. I need to look it up again.
Screenwriting, costumes, and original song.
Yeah, which everyone sings in this. I think every single one had a song, right? They all sing a song, with exception to maybe James Franco. Maybe his character's the only one that doesn't sing.
The stagecoach or the wagon train one. Was there a song in that one?
At the very end? No. I know. The one of the girl getting married.
Yeah. I don't think there's one in that one too.
Probably not. But most of them had songs. They would all sing something to themselves or whatever the case will be. I like that a little bit. I was like, you kind of feel like a little bit musical. Because the Buster Scruggs one was a musical.
It goes in hard.
Yeah. He starts singing right off the bat. He talks to the fourth wall. He kills a guy in a bar. And then the entire bar starts singing with him about what just happened. And you're like, oh, okay, this is a musical, I guess. Because that one's so over the top. It's hilarious.
It's funny how...
And he becomes an angel. And he flies away.
Yeah, how quickly you derail off the fun train.
Yeah.
In this.
Right. Because it goes back and forth a whole lot.
Yeah.
The prospector's a goofy old man talking to himself.
Talking about Mr. Pocket.
Mr. Pocket, I'm gonna get you, Mr. Pocket.
I'm gonna come visit you, Mr.
And
Pocket.
not today, but I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna get you. And then he gets shot, and he's like, "You weren't gonna take my pocket."
It didn't hit anything important.
Just a crazy old man having his old good time.
Yep.
And I like this movie. I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it to people. I don't have a score for it, but I recommend it to people.
I think that I'm going to put it the same as I did for Okja.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go, I think that was 7. I think I'm going to go with that.
Sweet. Pretty good score.
It's not the most entertaining thing I've ever watched, but there's a lot there.
But it's not like a terrible movie.
No, it's not. It's not a bad movie at all.
Which I think having short stories helps it a lot, because then you don't have to worry about character development and plot holes.
Yeah, think about how cheap it was to make that last vignette.
You're just on one stagecoach, and you have 5 people who, just talking.
Mm-hmm.
The special effects are probably all it needed, because I think the driver had special effects and the background did.
Yeah, maybe seconds worth.
Right, but I read an article about this movie today about how this movie for a Western has more special effects than any other Western out there.
Really?
Yeah, they use more CGI, because most Westerns have practical effects.
Yeah.
Where this one used a lot of CGI.
It was noticeable when it did happen.
Oh, when he walks into the cantina and he has the smoke behind him.
Yeah.
And
that was funny.
Yeah, I was like,
that was so funny.
I was like, what kind of movie is this going to be?
He taps his shirt to get the dust off, and it leaves like
an impression of a guy standing there. Because the Buster Scruggs one is so over the top and it's comical.
Yep.
And then you get the James Franco one, and it's not comical anymore. It's serious.
Yep. And then the Liam Neeson one.
So sad.
Yeah.
He throws that armless legless boy off the river.
Yes.
And I was like, oh. And he actually goes to a whorehouse with him and turns him around.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, this is terrible.
Yeah.
It's crazy they got Liam Neeson for that.
It's the Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah,
I think if the Coen Brothers call
anybody,
you just answer.
Exactly. It's so, this movie's so over the top and so depressing at points, and then it gets so happy because you like the prospector, and then when he gets shot, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I like the characters.
There's lots to take in this movie.
Yep. I'm good to move on to the movies of the week, though.
Yeah.
All right. I watched a few. Tao, Netflix movie. I Am Mother, White Chamber, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Casino Royale again, Goldmember, and Back to the Future 3. And then I think we watched Lilo and Stitch yesterday.
Yeah.
And Thelma and Louise today.
Nice.
Yeah. I hate Thelma and Louise. I don't think it's that good, but
That's almost as many. That may be as many movies as I watched.
mhm.
So I finally watched Shazam.
Okay.
You've been telling me to for ever
Years.
since it came out.
Yeah. About a year.
Yeah.
I'm a huge superhero nerd. If
Yes.
people haven't noticed yet, our weekly listeners, I like Shazam a lot in the comics, who used to be called Captain Marvel, and I like this movie a lot also.
So I grew up hardcore DC, like
Yep.
all the cartoons. It was just the only thing I wanted to watch when I was a kid.
Yep.
And then,
Because Marvel used to suck.
yes, the cartoons for Marvel were bad.
Yeah.
And then, DC just the last, was it 6 years? 5 or 6 years?
About 6 years. Yeah.
It's just been, ever since Green Lantern came out, I felt so betrayed by them.
9
I just
years. Yeah.
I can't do it. But Shazam was actually good. It was silly.
It's for kids,
Yeah,
but it works
it did.
because it never tried to be more than what it was at any point.
I actually found my kids watching it.
Good. Well, because, yeah, it's goofy.
Yes. I watched Aquaman.
Did you like it?
I didn't not like it.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yes.
Because I was going to hate it. I totally expected myself to hate it going into it. And then watching it, I was like, this isn't that bad.
No.
And it's a comic book movie. And it feels like a comic book movie. He wears like silly colors. Everyone else looks kind of silly.
Yep.
But Jason Momoa is awesome too. So
Yeah. I think he carries the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people you could get that would do as well as he did.
Patrick Wilson's also in this. Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a villain.
Okay.
Orm. I like him a lot too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Willem Dafoe.
William Dafoe's is who is he? Like his
Trainer or
right, like his mentor
Yeah.
of some kind. I didn't know he was in the movie until I went and watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, they got William Dafoe for this!" Yeah.
Yep.
Wild. And Nicole Kidman.
Yep.
That's the mom. I think that was like a surprise.
No, she's like in the opening scene.
You're right. She was in the opening scene.
Yeah.
And then Tamora Morrison, Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett went and lived out on Earth after he escaped the Sarlacc pit
He did.
and had sex with an Atlantis queen. I
Yes.
guess it's weird.
Hey.
Got to have your own little side story
How
before you go
serendipitous.
back to Star Wars.
Yeah. I rewatched The People vs. OJ on Netflix.
Okay, I haven't
The
seen
one
that
with
yet.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
So I remember that trial.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to stay with my grandparents every weekend.
Yep.
And they recorded the entire week of
Right.
trial, and then they'd binge watch it.
Okay.
I think that's like one of the earliest versions of binge watching was the OJ trial.
Right.
And I remember that. And so watching it, even though it's a little bit fictionalized,
Mm-hmm.
it's really interesting because
Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually remember
All that.
that happening.
Yep.
Olympus Has Fallen,
Okay.
a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yep.
I love that movie.
That movie had me sitting on the edge of my couch the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie's
London Has Fallen is all right.
I haven't seen the other two yet.
Angel Has Fallen is back up.
Back up.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the other two yet because I didn't feel like watching the same thing over again for the most part. But the first one was so awesome. It had me on the edge of my seat. Like,
Yeah.
this movie's fucking,
Just watch them.
This movie's wild.
They're good.
They're on Netflix, right?
Yes.
All right, fine. I'll give it a shot.
I don't know if London Has Fallen is on there.
I'll just skip it.
Zombieland Double Tap.
We saw that one in theaters.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the first Zombieland movie.
I love the first Zombieland. The second one was fine.
The second one is an attempt to make the first one come back to life
Yes.
because they literally rehash every joke and every memorable thing from the first one.
Yep.
They do it again all the way down to Bill Murray.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Equalizer 1 and 2.
Both great movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
If you like Denzel, you're gonna like those movies.
Yep.
I watched a Denzel movie not that long ago, the Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
I think I liked it the first time I watched it. And
I wish I could just accurately described the look on your face right there. Because you said it like, if you like Denzel movies, you'll like Pelham 123. And then I nodded, and then the look on your face was like, no, this is an exception.
Yeah, that was a bad movie. I watched that one, hated it, and then when I realized it's John Travolta, it's the bad guy or whatever,
Yeah.
I hated it even more. I was like, this movie's terrible. And then Deja Vu's pretty good. You seen that one?
If you can't stand John Travolta,
Yep.
you will love People vs. OJ.
Is he in it?
He plays Robert Shapiro,
Does he really?
and he does a pretty decent job,
Mm-hmm.
but he's still John Travolta.
Yeah. Is Robert Shapiro related to the other Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, the real shitty one no one likes.
I don't know.
No, he's not. I just kind of wondered.
You don't want to tarnish Robert Shapiro's good name.
Yeah. And just also, like, he had to get famous, somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't look like it. I wonder how he got famous.
I don't know.
The little one, Ben Shapiro.
The little one. I'm not sure.
He's a little guy. So, I can't say much. I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
Fuck me. But,
I watched a lot of movies this week, though.
yeah, I'm going to watch even more this week.
Because People vs. OJ is 10 episodes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh. I started watching Waco.
Yeah.
It's a 4-part series, right? Or 6 parts.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I've watched the first one so far.
Nice.
So, limited series, so I can kind of get into it a little bit easier because I don't have to commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you commit to a show, you got to commit for 3, 4, 5 seasons.
4 seasons for Community.
That's fine. Speaking of Community, Fred Willard died today.
Yeah.
He was in a couple episodes of that show.
Yep.
Yep.
He's really funny.
Oh, yeah. I love him.
Yes.
And I was kind of upset to see him die today.
Yeah.
Or his announcement of him dying today. I got nothing else, man.
I don't either.
Good for that to be the end of the show.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for us today. We had a fun time talking about the Ballad of Buster Scruggs
Mm-hmm.
and my New Mutants timeline.
Yes.
I did a lot of research into that this week. There's so much to that train wreck. But thank you everyone for listening this week. If you could give us a like or follow or dislike or a sub, that'd be great. If you want to reach us, you can reach us on Twitter or Facebook at RexCriticsPod or email us at recreationalcritics@gmail.com. In the description below, there will be a link to our Anchor listener support to allow us to get some donations to the show. Also, there'll be a link down to email one of our buddies, Ray Stroud. He does 3D printing stuff, and he made us our badges.
Yeah, buy stuff from Ray.
Yeah, he's pretty fun about it, and if you have any kind of design or kind of idea, he can make it happen. He's a very creative guy.
Yes.
So, catch him down there in his email and his page, and then don't forget to catch us next week for something we will probably announce on Twitter because
Yeah.
we didn't come up with it again this week.
We failed.
Yeah, we failed again. But anyway, thanks, critics. See you next time.
Peace out, A-Town.
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.